Alright guys, so it's another rainy day. Let's get stuck back in on the Monday. Right guys, so as I said, it's another miserable day out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get stuck in on doing the transfer case on my messy desk here. So what I've done is I went and I got all the right seals. This time I'm not messing around. I've got literally every seal for this thing except for that cap seal. I don't need that. That hardly ever gets done. So strip this all apart, knock some seals into it. Yeah, get it all refreshed. Got an O-ring for the top. Basically I had a little leak coming out from there, but I'm figuring since I'm doing the seals, I might as well just do every single one of them. So maybe I'll get you up on a small time lapse and we'll start digging into this. And there it is done. So new seal in the top, new seal in the bottom, new O-ring, a new dust protector thing that sits up against here. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed now, this thing won't leak, because it did have a leak, which was, I think it was more from the O-ring, which sits around here, but there was definitely some stuff coming out. That side you can kind of get away with because you pack the sleeve full of grease, so it does hold in a bit more of the moisture. But now I think, looking at my list of stuff to do, I think the next thing to do is actually put this in, and then I have this in place so I can run lines around it and stuff like that. So yeah, on to that, I guess. Okay guys, so after a lot of struggling, well, not really, that is the transfer casing. I've also bolted up fully the subframe and all the steering arms and all that kind of stuff. Fully done the passenger side drive shaft and everything. I am leaving the driver's side one out because I might need to still mess about with some part work and stuff back there. But yeah, that's in, so it gives me more of an idea on stuff I can actually get done down here. So I'm just, yeah, tidying stuff up as I go along. Right guys, so after all of that now, I've moved on to the clutch pipe. So what I've done is, as you can see, I've removed it from that back of the firewall. This is where it runs on the firewall, and that loop is what I'm talking about. So I've already marked, can you even see it there? Yeah, you can see I marked. So that's basically where I'm gonna go for that ferrule, or whatever it's called, that nut. It's going to be joined onto there, and then that'll give me a lot more movement on the pipe, and then I can wrap the pipe in some heat shielding stuff, and yeah, it's going to be out of the way. Did manage to spill tons and tons of dirty brake fluid everywhere, so yeah, I've been washing it all and trying to clean it all up. I mean, it will probably all burn off once it's eventually started, but that stuff's horrible. I absolutely hate it. Right, so get that done and see what else I can do. Okay guys, so I've got my modified clutch pipe here. What I'm going to do, obviously you can see it's been chopped and moved there, so that whole loop that was there is now gone. So I'm going to wrap this part in some protective stuff, and probably up to about that rubber, maybe even, I don't know, we'll see, because that's going to go underneath the exhaust. This is going to be another job that you guys can't really see, so I'm not going to be able to video too much, so I'll just stick it in and then show you guys what I'm doing. Hey guys, so I got you in here to look at my handiwork. So I know it's going to be difficult to see. Let me get that back line out of the way. But there's the clutch pipe. It's now wrapped in that heat shielding, goes up to there, and that's where that loop used to be, around there. So I've moved this rubber bung, so now it will touch against anything, and it also sort of acts as like a stopper for the heat shielding. Maybe I should just push it up a little bit more. But yeah, that runs around there. It goes down under the brake pipes here. So yeah, that gives me a bit more space, because as you can see, turbo is going to go out of here and then down there above those gear pipes. So I've run the clutch cable underneath the gear pipes too. Yeah, so that's my attempt in winning some space. Okay guys, so just wanted to show you this. Basically this is a brake booster kit from 8Sam at HS Tuning. So basically it replaces the hard brake assist servo piping that goes along the top. Basically pull it up, plug this one in, and this goes down to underneath the plenum. So that means it's going to run around the left hand side of the the engine. And that means I'm eliminating a lot of the wire, a lot of the piping from the right hand side. So it also comes with a bung for the plenum too. So yeah, might just try and stick this thing in and then just give you a quick show of how it is. Obviously I can't run it because I don't have my plenum, but I can plug it in and I can just get the part where it needs to be. Yeah, let's have a go. Okay, so there it is in place there. As you can see now, it's coming down around here. I'm going to probably move that a little bit further over or something, but it goes around there, through underneath the mount, and then up to where the plenum's going to go. So that gets rid of basically that hard part that went all the way along the back and all the way around and then into the plenum. So cleaning up stuff along the turbo side. Yeah, looking much better, much neater. Alright guys, so I'm back at it again. The weather's been way terrible, but as you can see, made a start on the heat shielding on the back. So done along the whole firewall up under here. Found 2 holes for a bolt there and there. So what I'm going to do is, obviously the middle is going to be overlapping, so probably in the next sheet that way is going to start about here, so it'll be double overlapped here. Use a single bolt, and then there's another bolt hole down there, and then down at the bottom you can see there's one there, and then there's one further down there. But that's the idea with the back, and it's looking really good. I'm actually really chuffed with that. So yeah, let me crack on and do the other side. So I just want to show you what I've been working away on here since I've been messing around with the firewall heat shielding. So basically this is the bracket for the transfer case. Now the problem has always been, and I actually forgot about this, I was meant to address this when I did the four-wheel drive stuff, but I forgot about it, so it proves it was good. But basically that bolt there does not match up to the block. It sits further out. You can kind of see the one I'm making up now. So basically what I'm doing is I cannot find a bracket that fits the 2.5 block. This is all from a diesel, so obviously that mount point is in a different place. So what I'm busy doing is making myself a newer, well, stronger, properly fitting one. So I'm also going to be using the other 2 holes on the transfer case, and that's going to be where the prop goes through into the transfer case, and obviously those are the holes. Now it was a pain in the arse to mark these, so I've made the holes a little bit bigger, I've made those ones square. I'm obviously going to do some stuff here. I mean, there's a lot of bracing on this, as you can see, so I'm probably going to try and weld some bracing in on this. I'm not entirely sure yet, but basically you'll probably see this when it's finished and painted up. Yeah, so realistically I need to get back on the firewall and start doing the lost that heat shielding, and then I know where I've got clearance for parts and stuff, but I do need to get this done before I can get a drive shaft in or anything. So got this going while I'm busy doing everything else too. Okay guys, so I've sent off the manifold and the water neck to be modified a little bit. The manifold's getting the EGT bungs put in it, and the water neck, the AN6 was a little bit in the wrong place, so I'm getting that moved. So what I've been doing, well, as you can see, it's nice and empty there, but what I've been doing now in the meantime is working on that bracket. So yeah, employed my terrible welding skills, but that actually came out okay. Nobody's going to see my sins because I am going to paint it and it's going to be under the car. But yeah, that's that done. Added some strengthening on the side here, and you know, just drilled holes and added some washers and some mounts and did the whole thing. But yeah, quite happy with that. Okay, so whipped out the grinder and the paint, and I've hidden most of my sins on this thing, most of my terrible welding. So yeah, a couple more coats and that is ready to rock and roll, so I can move on to other things. Okay, so I'm finally on to that other part of the heat shielding. I've measured it up, I've used a bit of cardboard aided design. I drew the line wrong first. Obviously the smaller part's got to be on the inside, but this doesn't matter, you're not going to see this. Let's try and clean it off. It looks a bit scuffed up, but it's fine. So yeah, I'm going to cut along there, and then fold it over, cut a bit of a block in it that needs to be out there, and then yeah, good, fine. Right, and there we go. So it is now fully heat shielded. It's obviously not fully complete because I'm going to tap up all the top here, make it all neat, and then it's got to bend around the brake pipes over here, so it gets pretty close, and then I've got to push it all back. I haven't done the mount down the bottom purely because this is going to come out for me to do the water neck stuff and the heater matrix pipes. So I think for now this is as mounted as we're going to get. I have replaced the bolts on the bottom here. I don't know if you can see those, but they are now stainless button heads, so it's much neater. Yeah, that is that part done at least. Right guys, so in the next installment of modifying every single part and remodifying it again as usual, basically I'm going to have to modify this prop bracket. Didn't think about it because I'm going to be using this little thing. Now what that is, it's a oil return clamp. So basically there's a fitting that sits in here and that has the oil return, and then AN10 comes in the top because it's a nice AN10's a big thick pipe. So yeah, basically I didn't account for this in there, so I'm gonna have to shave this down so it misses the water neck because it's going to be spaced out a bit more, and then I'm going to have to, as you can see on here, see the black line on the white paint, I'm going to be cutting on the inside of that and up and then out there, and then I will neaten it off around there and stuff and make it so it doesn't chop your hand off, but just as a first cut I'm going to be doing that, and then repainting it obviously. Fun times, so let's get on with that. Okay guys, so I've pulled you in here to my mock-up engine just to show you basically what's going on. So as you can see, this red thing, that's a AN10 fitting on the end. It goes into the drain port with an O-ring, and then this is that little thing that I've just trimmed the edge off because, as you can see, this is loose, so I could wobble it around a bit, but it's very close there. So I've basically trimmed that off, trimmed all the bracket off, made sure all fitting now that is tight against the block, or it will be when it's on and it's all tightened down, but yeah, that is basically the idea of what I was achieving there. So it's trimmed down there, and then trim down there, and then trim down over there. So let's get it all painted up and ready for fitting. Right guys, so right now, as you can see what I've been doing, I've just been catting out my fuse box side, cut it down, and it's going to go down a little bit there to protect the brake wires, and come a little bit further along here to protect all those cables there, and then not as far here, but I want it to basically protect the top of the gearbox mount because I don't want that to get roasted. But I am kind of stuck because I don't know exactly where everything's going to lie, so I can't really do this until I've got the manifold on, and then until I've got the sort of the head side of this done too, because it's going to go down and over some of these and try and protect it. But it's obviously the turbo just clears that, so there's not much space in here, and there's going to be a drain. So I'd like to try to figure something out, you know. I mean, I'd like to have a bit of covering over the top of these gearbox and over the top of this the vent, but the clearance and then the drain is going to be an issue because the drain pipe from the turbo's got to come down and go down there, and then the feed's got to come up and come up here. So yeah, I'm a little bit sort of stuck at the moment. So I think the next step will have to be wrapping the manifold, getting that in place, obviously fitting the water neck again, and then run the pipes, run all the pipes, and then heat shield all of this. I think that'll be better, because then I won't be putting it in and then realizing I've got something in the way and then changing and chopping, and you know, as you do. So I'd rather do it, measure it properly, do it once, then have to chop it again and chop it again. There are some places where I've had to do that because measuring was nearly impossible, you know, like corner pieces and where it clears stuff. But yeah, it's all pretty much hidden, and it actually looks pretty good in there. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to do some thinking and some prepping, get that manifold wrapped, and then get stuck back in here. But I think we're going to call it here for now, taking up enough of your time. But yeah, once again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me along for the ride. Like, share, subscribe, get the word out there, and I'll see you in the next one.